Welcome to Zentangle Project Pack number 23. This is day 7. My name is Rick.
Hi, this is Maria, and it's Rick's going to be with me, and Molly's going to jump in and shade for us at the end. What I decided to do here, the girls asked me to do the borders, these stripes around the edges, and I thought, wouldn't it be fun to work with fragments? But fragments in a different way than fragments in reticular, which usually makes a pattern. We're going to use all different kinds of fragments just for something fun and exciting. So I'm going to start out by making square little tiles here, and you can the stripe on this piece was about 3/4 of an inch, and so what I was estimating were these little tiles or sections would be about a 3/4 inch square, and that's what I'm kind of working towards. So, and you think in terms of about a square, you know.
Right. So, whatever the width is, that's the other dimension.
So, whenever I'm doing something like this, and it has like a section in the middle, like that little tangle that's sticking down there, I start from the left and then I start from the right and meet over there, because it doesn't really matter if it comes out even, right?
And I really love that sense of different pressure on the pen, so each line is really alive. It's not just the way I make them.
Right. So besides for that, so what I want these to look like, I don't want you to draw a line all the way down. I want you to draw them a little bit at a time so that they have that feeling of them being single little pieces that have been glued in there with cement. Like a tile would be. But we're going to go like if you went to Spain or Portugal and saw all the beautiful tile work there, they'd have all kinds of tiles put together, but they all sort of blended in together just fine.
And they were all handmade, so they're not like out of a machine.
So you can see the edges and the corners that I kind of make a point of making them not one straight line right all the way down.
Nice.
So the next step was I'm going to aura it. Sorry, my hand is in the way. Aura it just a little bit, and then we're going to
we'll do the coffering.
Coffering.
Yes.
So that means connecting the corners of these two squares. It gives it a little frame around it. And that's what's going to hold them together.
Right. And the whole concept of coffering is built off of the principle of auraing, is that you aura inside a shape. And usually it's one with a lot of straight edges, although it works with round edges. But wherever the angles come together that you would like cut it and miter it for a frame, that's where you connect those.
And see, now already these tiles are going to go together as a collection because they have a common thing to tie them together.
Well, they've got the common frame, the common color, the common definition.
01. And I kind of wrapped my pen with, what is that tape called?
It's like a bandage that sticks to itself, so it allows Maria to grip the pen a little bit better. So
yeah, it makes it easier for me to hold the pen where I'm not quite 100% yet from my issues. And anybody else who has issues, it's a great stuff to use on your pens, and it helps a lot.
And this is like one of the first times you're holding the pen with those fingers. So
right. But looks like it doesn't last very long because I don't have enough strength in my forefinger and my thumb yet. So I'm doing what I can do the way I can do it. So these aren't necessarily tangles that are going in there, but little kind of cool designs on each one. This next one starts out like well.
They're sort of like little vignettes of
For dingbats.
of
Yeah.
like dingbats, or actually some of them are the actual fragments
Right.
that we've used.
That don't have actual names to them, but they're all just something in a little square or a
Right.
little triangle.
And if you go into the Primer Volume 1, Zentangle Primer Volume 1, there's a whole collection of which these are some of them.
I'm going in and adding some
Little rounding there.
little rounding.
So, yeah, this is like classic well.
Yeah. And again, it's hard to turn the page all the way around, but feel free to do it.
So we're just adding different assortments, and
I think I'm assessing this, and what I want to do, I want more. Okay.
and when you're in that place of wanting more and not knowing exactly what, Aura is a really great tool. So we've got another one. A little enthatching.
It just gives you a little bit of detail that you want, like a consistent detail. Oh, I'm not.
So here we're setting up some crescent moon orbs in the corner, or ladybugs hiding in the corner. And then just auraing them all the way into the center till you
Start again.
and then there's more. So there's this lovely fractal nature to working with these, and it's like they're disappearing down in some great vast distance of crescent moon. And I like the idea that, and we said this, or I've said it a bunch of times, is that the gaps between the lines, there's sort of a consistency that if you look at the other tangles, that the gaps there's a resonance.
So this next tile is going to be a tile of leaves. Tiny leaves going from the corners and ending in the middle. And I just love this leaf shape. It's very malleable and fits into almost any kind of situation.
So this came after
Pretty.
poke root, and
Yeah.
this is poke leaf.
Yeah, I like that. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and you can make them fit, like Maria said, totally into any space.
So I'm going to do some diagonals.
And based on Hollabaugh,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll do another one on the other side. This is a really neat fragment to do in a group of the same fragment and turning it different ways, because it has this really cool overlap effect and creates really nice meta patterns.
So I'm adding some little squares in there, and then kind of connecting them to the outside. It's like a coffering, right?
Yeah. It's holding up the coffering.
Yes, yes, yes. So this is going to be some curved lines, and I think it's a Knightsbridge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's really neat is, every time we show Knightsbridge, for the most part, people tend to think of it in a checkerboard fashion. So to do it like this, where they're all curved lines, is, shows the malleability of this tangle. And one of the ways that we talk about how to tangle this is just pick any square.
I usually start from the middle and work out.
And then do the next square so that one of its corners is touching one of the inked-in corners of another square.
Well, I kind of always refer to them as kissing corners.
Kissing
but
corners.
Yeah, one kisses
Okay.
the other. And that's the way you can tell the next black
I
square.
like that.
And if you think you can do it without that, well, good luck with that. So this is
Noom Repus.
Noom Repus. Tangle from a Zen again, I think.
Right. And Noom Repus, the name is, it was on that day that we put it out there, it happened to be the supermoon. And so that's supermoon spelled backwards.
Yeah. These little details like this makes it look like they're connected with
Right.
a blank space in there. It's such a cool tangle.
And then just resonating auras. So another really neat thing about this exercise is that you can take components of tangles and decide to make a small piece of them and just make that as a fragment. And then by duplicating the fragments, you get this lovely mosaicing reticula of these beautiful shapes. So here's like our assortment
Of tiles.
of these lovely,
Little-
lovely ceramic tiles.
Yeah. And we're going to go all the way around using those 7 or 8, whatever they are. And then I would just sprinkle them in here and there. And going back to the 05, we're going to start again putting down our 3/4 inch roughly square tiles.
And again, that unevenness of pressure is very deliberate. I think it makes sense from the whole pointed pen calligraphy where you like pressing and
Mhm.
light, and you'd have these really heavy and delicate mix of shapes
It
available.
almost looks like bamboo, right?
Yeah, yeah. I love the way that background watercolor came out. So any spaces that are available in that outer band, she is going in and putting those, defining those little mosaic pieces or reticula pieces. And then again, with the coffering. I can just imagine going into an old world shop of somebody making these tiles and having this assortment of different ones, and then you would pick it out and put them in your house and grout them on the floor.
Which I've done many
Yes.
times, yes.
And so just, you don't even have to do them one in a row. You can just like, oh, I'm going to put one here and I'm going to put one there.
I don't think I did this one on the, I think this is a different one. It was in the first set.
And you can, oh, right, this is a new one. Oh, you found a new one. Huh. So a series of orbs.
So I'm going to aura that square. See? The lines are auraing the outer lines. And then again with the coffering.
Just filling that in. And this is one of the fragments in our book.
There's the coffering. You're repeating an element, which I kind of like that particular one. Like, it's kind of cool.
Right. It's like fractal of the inner part is reflecting the outer part. And so again, we'll just go back and really enjoy and take your time, hold your pen gently, rotate your tile, and maybe you'll spend some time deciding, oh, which shape do you want to put in? And then like Maria here is like doing it a little bit differently on this one. So you can imagine some old world craftsperson making these tiles and just having a blast and doing it different ways. Speaking of coffering within coffering.
I know, right?
And then a little accent with drama. And one of the reasons to show all of these ideas is, again, not that you would exactly duplicate these, but just to take the inspiration of, well, you like those 4 little leaves? Well, let's do a big one with a little fold.
With a little fold in it. I just love the leaf patterns.
So you can take this as inspiration, which is one of the things that we really love to inspire you, is to find out those things that flow out of your pen that wouldn't flow out of anybody else's pen, and then just to really explore that and take it in directions that other people will look at and say, wow, I never thought of that. I'm going to try that. So you just go back in and get your familiar ones, and I love the presence and drama of those.
This is the first time we do it this way,
Yeah.
I believe. And
Yeah.
I'm hoping to see it in some of your works and in different ways, and bring about another whole barrel of fun, adding things.
Oh, and you had to do Muka.
I had to do it. So you guys don't have to do it. But it's like, oh, I have to do that.
You can't not. That's funny. And you'll see, what's a consistent theme throughout so many of these is that little aura with that accent and a little bit of light and dark. So each one is set in there, and it really becomes a part of what's inside that frame. Just held right in there. Beautiful. And they all fit really well together.
I know. I'm good at tiling.
Tiling.
Yeah. So now Molly's coming in. This is her hands. And she's going to do the shading for me, because it's a little difficult for me to hold the small pencil at this point. And she loves to shade everything,
Yes.
so. And I think she's going to shade as a border as opposed to the individuals, I think.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is, even though she's doing it as a border, well, first of all, she's making sure, going under that part.
Right.
But she's staying within those reticular frames, and that's sort of a really cool idea. So she's just doing the loading up the graphite on the sides that are parallel to the way the frame is going.
The outer edges.
Yeah. And then bringing it into the middle, using the side of your tortillona to last a lot longer. And of course, leaving a little bit of unshaded part in the middle, so you have that nice contrast.
So she's shading the shape,
Right.
as opposed to each individual tile.
Right. And you might decide to do it totally differently.
And after that, she's going to go in and add a little highlight to give the line some shape.
A little bit of gloss. And she's moving it around with the chalk itself. So often the chalk functions as its own tortillon, but you can always go back in.
Cool, right?
That looks really nice. And it all holds together. That framing holds it together, and it is absolutely stunning. Look at that.
It was just fun to do.
I can't wait to see everybody's together. And I can't wait for you to see the next step and what goes inside this lovely frame that we've defined. So enjoy, take your time, always breathe, always appreciate every step of the way. Thank you so much, and
Bye.
see you soon. Bye now.